guys, my name is Ran.
And I'm Crisel. Welcome to our new episode, SOSYALAN, a podcast with Ran and Crisel.
The one and only Vodcast that is made to teach future educators like you on how to pave your way in the new normal education teaching.
Whether you're teacher or student, you're sure to pick up tidbits actionable advice when you listen to SOSYALAN.
Today, due to insistent public demand, we're going to play another round of our infamous segment, Hear It From the Experts.
We have here our special guest, a licensed professional sociologist who has a doctor's degree in medical sociologist, Dr. Julian Isleta, and a renewed applied sociology professor from Taytay State Medical School, Professor Angelo David.
Good morning, Dr. Isleta and Professor David. Welcome to SOSYALAN with Ran and Crisel. How are you?
Hello, I am definitely doing well. I'm healthy and cozy at my home right now. So, given the fact that we are currently living with a deadly virus, the COVID-19. So, yeah, it's a nice thing, especially now that I got finally I got to do an interview with you guys. Because I haven't done so in a long time. So I just want to say I'm honored together with Dr. Julie in having this interview. So let's get things started with what we know. And we'll answer all your questions right away.
Glad to hear that you're both doing good. And it's so nice having you here in our podcast. Since today, we will be tackling about important matters when it comes building and enhancing new literacies. Trust the new curriculum from the Department of Education. And that's none other than your parte, social literacy. Let's start from Professor David. Can you tell us more about social literacy and what we need to know about it?
Yes. Thank you so much for that wonderful question, Crisel. No, social literacy is just simply the ability of a person or individual to actually become flexible on certain social situations, be it organizational, social, or communication skills. The ability to become flexible at those particular aspects in life is social literacy, basically. It's the ability of a person to effectively connect with another person or a group of persons, a group of people. So yeah, that's what social literacy is. So for example, if you want an example for social literacy has this particular scenario. Let's say when you're going to the doctor, you'll have this particular and specific consultative tone in your voice. But then if you're talking to a friend, you'll go with a casual voice, with a casual tone, a casual attitude. Or if you're going to work, you're going to use a formal tone and many other tones or approaches depending on which particular social situation you're in. So yeah, that's it. That's simply social literacy.
That sounds the social literacy is so crucial in a person's success. Am I right, Professor?
Yes, you're definitely right with social literacy being crucial to a person's success. Basically because it is crucial as much that it is necessary for a person or individual to have social literacy, because the ability to communicate with other people and to voice out your opinions, your ideas, will allow breakthroughs in your life. And the ability to actually do that will help you, come up with ideas, communicate with ideas, generate communication that will make your dreams work, your aspirations work, your endeavors work. So it's definitely important to have social literacy because our life is revolving around communication, basically. Every day we do it every day. We do it casually, we do it formally, we do it consultatively, We do it professionally. We do it in any way we can that will generate with our lives very very satisfying outcomes or successful outcomes. So it's definitely important to have social literacy.
Professor, literally in every single setting of our lives, at school, home, work, clubs and activities, be it face to face or behind technology, we keep on interacting with different people, right? Is that where we use our social literacy, Professor?
You are definitely right, Rand, because as I previously mentioned, yeah, we do have we do have roles in our lives, different roles. I have the ability to communicate as a son, to my parents, to your parents. You can communicate that way. You can communicate as a student to your teacher. You can communicate as a patient to a doctor. Again, we have these several roles that it's so important that we have social literacy because it is one of the driving forces that allow us to do those roles appropriately. So it's definitely important.
Alright! Thank you so much for such detailed explanation of what social literacy is all about. So, based from what you said, Professor David, we can therefore conclude that social literacy is what helps students combine all of the features of literacy and use them to communicate with others so they could be able to express their own thoughts. Am I right, Professor David?
Yes, yes, you're perfectly right on that, Rand. Yes, yes.
So that what it means, meaning we are both socially literate, right, Ran?
Yeah, you're right. I'm glad that I'm quite literate, socially at least. Anyways, thanks again for sharing us that important information, Professor David. So let us now talk on our second guest, a renowned clinical sociologist who is also a part-time professor at the University of the Philippines, Dr. Isleta. Good morning, Dr. Isleta. Welcome to SOSYALAN.
Good morning, Ran. Glad to be here as well. Thank you for inviting me here.
Our absolute pleasure, Doc. so, Professor David has already defined what social literacy is, and so we would like to know now, why is it important for us to be familiar with this social literacy?
Of course, Ran, it is very much important to make sure that the students interact in groups. By working in groups in the classroom, the students are practicing social skills that can be applied within and outside of the classroom. As we become more dependent on technology, we are beginning to interact less with each other face to face. Social literacy helps to prevent against bullying when young people learn how to express themselves correctly. They will learn how to handle situations with teachers and peers in person in life through just technology.
That's a well-presented thoughts, Dr. Sleta, and for those students that are watching our podcast right now you know ha. Do not just simply sit in front of your gadgets. Make time to socialize with other people as well, especially with your teachers and classmates. So you would get used and learn how to express yourselves correctly in different situations. Okay? Alright. Now, let's go back to Professor David. This question is for you. Professor, now that we already know about social literacy and its importance, now may we ask how can teachers teach this to their students?
Again, another great question, no, Crisel. So, how can we actually learn or how can we teach social literacy to our students? Well, it calls back to particular experiences. No? I'll give you an example. So as you know, as children, as young children, before we are taught by our parents on how to speak. They are guiding us, and now when we go to school, we are encouraged to recite, to answer, to just lay out all of our ideas, to talk with our classmates, colleagues. That's the important thing about social literacy. The importance is that in order for you to learn social literacy, you have to experience it. You have to immerse yourself into those kind of communicative situations in order to actually learn naturally and efficiently. So that's how you learn social literacy. You interact, you indulge yourself into those kind of situations, and that's the only way you can learn. Especially depending on which environment you're in, whether you're at school, communicating at school, you're communicating at home, you're communicating with your friends at the park or the playground, and so on. It's simply just that.
So, meaning, one way for students to practice the basic concepts of literacy during their online classes is through group projects or through communicating with their classmates regularly. Am I right, Prof?
That's definitely right, Ran. Because like I previously mentioned, interaction is such an important thing, and with that kind of experience or that kind of access to social literacy or to social situations, you are being exposed to those kind of communicative natures, and that allows you to become socially literate. So it's definitely important to just dive in and learn social literacy the natural way, the communicative way, the just the basic, the essential way. So yeah, that's it. That's right.
Yes, thanks again for sharing us your expertise, Professor David. Anyways, it's no longer that hard to teach social literacies right now because there are already a lot of social media platforms which can be used in teaching and socializing as well, right, partner?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. We have Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, and etc.
YouTube.
Yes, YouTube and many more.
And speaking of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube as well, so all of our beloved viewers, please follow us on our official Facebook page, and that is at www.facebook.com/SOSYALANRC, and on our official Twitter account, that's at SOSYALANRC.
Also, don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel, Sosyalan Official.
That's right! Moving forward, social literacy has also changed over time as technology drastically advances in the modern era. Let us talk once again to Dr. Isleta to enlighten us as to how social literacy evolved in the modern era. Doc?
Yes, Ron, in the past, social literacy was understood as a student ability to communicate in social settings. These definitions broaden and continues to broaden into more social realms over time, and especially recently, social settings are changing from just a face-to-face environment for students to competently interact socially and communicate effectively includes a newer and very present realm, which is none other than the internet.
Yes, once again, thank you, Dr. Sleta. And our special girls once said, it is very important for us to understand on how to communicate appropriately and learn how to use technology effectively in our social lives today's world. Right, Ran?
Yes, Crisel, that is correct. But also as teachers, you are also responsible for using technology as an advantage and to fully use its benefits to improve social literacy of your students even further, right?
Yes, that's right. Once again, thank you, Dr. Sleta and Professor David, for being our special guests for today's episode.
And thanks again for listening to your favorite vodcast duo, Ran and Crisel.
We hope you enjoy our deep dive about all the tips and tricks that you can use to help develop social literacy in different kinds of languages.
And if you're keen enough to see these ideas can be applied in the real world, join us once again next week and we'll be interviewing Guess Who? President Nancy Pascual of URS and how she was able to address and manage all the issues in distance learning during these pandemic times.
As always, you can head over to sosyalanrc.com to sign up to our email list as well as check out all the links and the resources all for today's episode, folks. See you next time. Bye!
Bye-bye!